It's for the subscribe. You can subscribe to my Patreon.
Guys, I can't believe 500 Patreon subscribers. Yeah, really amazing.
You can buy our merch at youtube.com/Riddler.
Don't forget your fucking cling wrap.
Like and subscribe because it helps me out a lot.
Guys, if you want the Riddler fit, you can go to H&M's Spring Collection.
He's like talking to Batman. He's like talking to Batman. He stops his mid-conversation. This video is sponsored by
Raid Shadow Legend.
Raid Shadow Legend. Remember the little iPhone scene he has? He just plays a YouTube video.
All right, Gotham, before I blow this man up, I just want to say thank you to Raid Shadow Legend for sponsoring this death execution.
Oh, man.
Now, before the seawall collapses, I just want to say, make sure that you use a VPN to protect yourself against unwanted hackers.
You don't want Batman hacking into your systems today.
YouTuber Riddler is one of the funniest goddamn things.
Why did they put that in there?
Put his fucking glasses on.
Yeah, that's why. It's like his fogged up glasses. Like, yeah, he looks like he breathed like that. Someone said when they cast
him,
he looks nothing how he imagined him to look like. Anyways, he looked like some normal dude.
Oh yeah. Paul Dano fucking rules.
What is his name? Palladino.
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano.
He was in the There Will Be Blood. Was his big thing.
What else he's in?
He was in Swiss Army Man. He was.
I've never seen him before till Batman.
Dude, he's in a lot of good shit.
There's a photo of him in a green suit. Look, he should have wrote. If I wrote this movie,
they said that's not the Riddler. That's a Drippler.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
Drippler.
If he had that with a cane and shit, that'd be like one of the best Riddlers out there.
The Drippler.
Yeah, but that type of Riddler did not fit that type of movie.
That's my problem with the movie.
There Will Be Blood, Little Miss Sunshine. He was in 12 Years a Slave.
Who's in Little Miss Sunshine? Wait, was he that? was he
Dwayne.
The fugly kid?
He was the pilot. He was the wannabe pilot, the colorblind pilot.
The kid in the back, right? That wore the
white shirt.
Yeah.
That's him.
Dude, that's a stressful movie. You ever seen Little Miss
Sunshine?
Dude,
I can't. Social anxiety.
Dude, fuck off with social anxiety. Family fighting movies. We need to put an end to them. I need an end to that. I lived through that enough. Like, knock it off. I don't need to relive it. Who's enjoying this? Seriously.
Have you seen A Marriage Story?
No, and I know why I haven't seen it because that one scene.
Yeah.
Dude, why do I want to watch a movie about people getting divorced?
Just the one with Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
Yeah. Phenomenal movie, extremely well directed. So hard to watch, dude. It's so painful to watch.
That was a real podcast. So hard to watch.
They dated in real life. No, that's Loki.
For sure.
Scarlett Johansson. Never mind.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston?
Tom Hiddleston?
Scarlett Johansson?
They dated a few years back.
Nice.
ScarJo let Tom Hiddleston hit?
Tom Hiddleston lets Scarlett.
Yeah,
I'm disgusted.
I'm about to say that.
No, Tom Hiddleston ugly, man.
Dude,
I'm sick of these fangirls saying that this man is dreamly.
Listen. As a non-straight man, Tom Hiddleston is objectively attractive. He's
objectively not attractive.
He is.
As from a straight man, he's
that's the problem. You're
straight. You hate man with like long black hair. You hate.
Dude, he got stringy ass, greasy ass. Tread carefully. It looked like he just took a pan of bacon right to the back of his head. He's like, boy, I'm about to flex up.
His hair's not greasy. Dude, his hair in the show Loki fucking ruled.
Oh, you mean that incest show?
Yeah, it is. It's not incest.
Self-cessed.
I love that show, though. It's a good show.
It was okay, except for
what?
What's going on with the audio?
What do you mean?
It's
static.
Way too high.
Eddie.
Oh, crap.
What happened?
I had a thing for Tay to do this week, but I forgot to do it.
What was the thing?
Optimus Prime is the guy who voices Optimus Prime does the
Predators.
He used to do the Toonami bumpers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was going to print off a bumper, and I was going to have Tay do it in his Optimus.
I remember this.
Try to do one.
It's a bumper. You remember the bumper?
Yeah. Give him 5 old anime. God, so Gundam G, let's say.
So fucking.
So tonight on Toonami, there's gonna be Gundam G, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho,
Trigon,
Master Duel, or what was it?
Master Duels?
No,
Outlaw
Duel Masters.
Outlaw and Star.
No, this is like 2002, 2003 here.
Goddamn, wasn't Duel Masters? No, Duel Masters was
2005.
Was it Duel Masters? That was the
Duel
name.
Masters was the
came and went.
The bootleg Yu-Gi-Oh.
The helicopter dragon toy thing. I had a toy that.
People say that Yu-Gi-Oh is bootleg Duel Master.
No, Yu-Gi-Oh came first. What do you mean,
dude?
That offends me so much.
I know, but people really like Duel Masters.
I mean, I played it.
Japan,
it was fun.
You know what I hated?
Yeah.
Stupid CG.
Chaotic.
That helps. Yeah.
I was like, this is
Chaotic pissed
It
me
was
off.
in what? Middle school, high school? Every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, it was on.
yeah. Dude, do you remember those days? Like,
That fucking Green Goblin guy, whatever.
yeah, 6 a.m. Dude, I remember waking up at like 4 a.m. and watching cartoons. Like, that was I was eating a bowl of cereal, watching cartoons at 4 a.m.
Before I went to school, I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Dub, and
Did
What
you
year was
play
this?
that?
What the hell?
Bakugan, was it Battle Brawlers?
Bakugan, yeah. I remember.
I used to watch those in the morning before I hit school.
Bakugan was pretty fun. I remember really liking Bakugan.
I remember when that first came
I remember
out.
Bakugan, and I was like,
It blew the
this is a
world.
ripoff of Chaotic.
Nah, it was.
What
it
the
was
fuck was
better than-
chaotic?
Chaotic was it was like VR, but you used cards.
It was what's the name before it was a thing.
Kind of like Digimon Tamers, but like they went into a VR world, and then they could use like cards to power up them. But they would come an avatar of themselves.
No, okay. It's like the Digimon. Is that the season?
Tamers.
That you said? Digimon
Tamers,
where
yeah.
they turn into the
Or you mean
Digimon.
like Frontiers would actually turn
Frontiers. Dude, Frontiers is my favorite. It's the only Digimon series that I've actually really liked. Has been Frontiers.
A lot of Japanese fans don't like that show.
Really? Interesting.
Which
I
one,
wonder why.
Tamers or Frontier?
Season 4, Frontiers.
I wonder why. That should rule.
Digimon.
I love the first 4 seasons.
Digital Monsters? It's the wrong theme song, but it's the only one I know.
That's what-
What's your guys' favorite Digimons?
Frontiers.
Frontiers.
You mean theme song?
No. Ooh, right there. Do it. Do it.
No, that was a joke.
I know, but
Yeah.
that I was like, oh, that's good. That's good.
You didn't do it last time, by the way.
I forgot. I totally forgot. I went through the whole edit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this is looking good. I'm really liking this edit. I got everything that I got. As soon as I hit upload and I'm leaving from my girlfriend's house, I'm driving and I stopped.
You're like, I was like, I hate those when you're like, dude, I will do that. I will forget to say something and then be 4 days in in the future and just be like driving like, oh crap. I'm so bad about doing that. It's so far out of the way and I'm like, oh, I meant to say that.
God damn it. I literally forgot. I left my apartment after uploading the episode, drove 2 minutes outside of my complex and went, fuck, I forgot the theme song. So that was my life.
Now, what you were saying? From favorite anime or Digimon?
Oh, what's your favorite Digimon series?
Oh.
Like Tamers. So we have season 1, which was this Digimon
Adventure, yeah.
Adventures.
That was the
season
one
2.
with Hentai, right?
What?
Is that his
What
name?
the-
Ty? His name's Ty. The meme, they put a chicken on his head, and they call it hentai. So that's
Yeah.
what I was referring. That's what I.
His name's not even. It's Itachi.
Tai Chi.
Isn't it Ty?
Yeah,
No,
Tai.
well, in
English
English
dub is
it's yeah.
Ties and dub.
Yeah, in the dub. I've never watched Digimon other than
The first one, Digimon Adventure, is my favorite one.
Digimon
Digimon
Adventures.
And then what was the season 2 called?
Adventure 2.
And then 3 was Tamers, and then 4 was Frontier.
Was there a 5?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Saviors.
keep going.
I watched all of them.
There's 2 new ones. They did a reboot of Adventures, and then they did Ghost Game.
I didn't
Which I kind of
watch
want to watch Ghost Game, but I don't know. What did I say like that? Ghost Game?
Is it called Ghost Game?
I
I don't even know the name of it. I didn't.
I kind of want to watch Soken.
You just need the glasses to do the little.
And they did Try. So
Try,
Tamers
yeah.
is season 3 with the cards. So Adventure 1, 2 is a TV show in that universe. So
Okay.
Tamers is like our universe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And Frontiers is just
So wait, so in Tamers, you go into the Digimon universe as a telly show.
no. So like, kind of yeah. So like when they go to the digital world, like Digimon's an anime to them.
Yeah.
Or manga
Okay.
and
Yeah,
stuff,
it's almost like breaking the third wall.
breaking through
Fourth.
a wall. But it's funny because in Digimon Cross Wars, all the protagonists meet up, and the Tamers kid, I forgot his name. He doesn't freak out like you guys are cartoon characters. Yeah, it's like it just happens.
Oh,
That's awesome.
crap.
Takata.
Takata, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I was like, what? 'cause
Steve Bloom does that guy.
We used to do that voice all the time in college. It was we just go Takumon because Gilmon would always like talk to him.
Can the Digimon like talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Digimon's so much cooler than Pokemon. I don't care what no one says.
In concept, it is, but I've never been.
A Digimon.
I never
Never been a
understood
Digimon
like
guy.
why, and then I guess it's because Pokemon's so cute. It's more accessible to all people.
Digimon speaks my language, dude.
Yeah, there's a specific group that Digimon taps into is that kaiju fans.
Kaiju mech fans.
Yeah, because you get the big fucking
but you
like
get the
angel
best
ladies and the dragons.
Right,
and
but you get the
mechs.
best of both worlds with Digimon. You get the cute and cuddly in first form, but then you get the raw form at the end.
I don't
See,
care for
like
the,
that's why
the
like
raw.
Pokemon never clicked with me like that because it never went as hard as they could.
I like Pokemon. It just Digimon just hits harder. Like
Pokemon is just
fucking-
like
you look
I
at
don't
War
know.
Greymon. Look
Pokemon has
at
been
Charizard. Like, come on.
marketed to kids for
Digimon
the
too.
entire runtime. But Digimon has a lot more dark elements than Pokemon does. Digimon's a little bit darker.
Yeah, and it has a store, and
Yeah.
Digimon's one of the few franchises where it grows with its audience.
Yeah, which I really appreciate.
But I think it's probably gonna hurt him in the long run. Though.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch them again. I just didn't. There's two things that I've never been attracted to as a kid, and this is surprising because the stereotype for autistic people is that one, they like dinosaurs and they like big robots, and I like none of those.
That's me.
What?
God, I just spoke
That's
my
it.
childhood.
Yeah.
Autistic kids like dinosaurs and big robots.
Yeah, that's
Wait.
the stereotype.
Cap.
I'm autistic.
No, that's a stereotype.
Oh, that's a stereotype.
stereotype,
I was like,
right?
I think all kids love dinosaurs when they're like.
Never
usually-
did.
Every kid always has dinosaur toys when they're small.
No, but it's a
Shit,
stereotype that like neurodivergent kids will love either dinosaurs, trains, or big robots.
No,
Sonic
it's,
the Hedgehog.
it's Undertale, Sonic.
Yeah.
No, that's a new generation of neurodivergent kids. What are you
Damn
gonna
it!
say,
I
Tay?
really just had him. I just had him riled up right now.
What if I'm like autistic? I don't even realize it.
Anything that Chris
Dude,
Chan.
I
likes.
didn't realize until like fucking 3 years ago.
How do you get tested for that or whatever?
You go to, so I literally had to go to a child clinic, a child psychology clinic. And I was like,
They're like, what's
so,
this
like,
grown man? There's like a grown man with a beard sitting with a bunch of children. They're like, well, that one's obviously weird.
that was,
Sir, please leave. And put your pants back on.
Why his pants off?
He's neuro.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
He diverged from his pants.
So I went to this child psychology clinic and I called them up and I said, hey, I know I'm like 24 and I know you guys are a child psych, but I think I'm autistic. Can we do something about this?
Why a children's?
What?
Why not?
Because
just
it's
go to
the only
doctor?
fucking one.
It's
It was the
probably
only
cheaper,
one.
too.
What was the name of the clinic?
It was fucking, I don't even remember.
Just but it was like.
It was the only one in Charlotte
But
that offered autistic testing. Because autistic diagnosing is often done in children.
But never in adulthood.
No, often not because often you catch it before you're an adult.
I think you could have just went to the doctor. And
No,
just been like, bro, do I look a little off to you? And there's like,
Crockett.
the doctor's like, he puts his clipboard down. And is like,
Yeah, actually.
he does like turn around. All right, yeah.
So what, like,
You're right. Take 2 of these.
is it like a disease or something?
No. So autism is a developmental disorder. And it's just like your brain is not wired. It's literally like a brain wiring thing where it's not the same as like a neurotypical person. So when you are on the autism spectrum, and there's, various degrees of it, you essentially have sensory issues.
Yeah, I've seen videos of like perspective of autistic guy. And
Yeah,
I've
you just
seen-
have sensory issues. You don't know when people like social cues sometimes go missing. Like sometimes you tell me a joke and it'll just go right over my head because there's a social cue attached to the joke, and I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah,
that
like,
specific social
Isn't
cue.
that light like 10 times brighter or some shit and all that stuff?
Yeah, I can hear electricity.
Yeah.
Like there's certain contexts where I can hear electricity because we have sensory issues. We're more sensorily.
So you got
Aware.
superpowers now, huh?
Kinda. I'm the next step in evolution, baby.
You can touch the ground like there's wiring on
To
your
me,
head.
my X-Men.
But autism is a developmental disorder. We run behind on specific facets of social education and social
I want
development.
to try this 'cause I think I'm mentally insane sometimes.
It wouldn't. Most people are neurodivergent. Crockett, you're fine.
Just looking at the camera. I was like, got neurodivergency over here, and then I got mentally insane. It's like I'm just like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. So like the thing.
Are you real?
The fuck.
I didn't fade out of existence.
That's like my third time doing on this show.
That's my favorite joke.
That's my favorite. There's
When
a
we're done with-
YouTube. Wait, hang on.
No. When we're done with the episode, I want all of us to stand outside of the frame with the camera on because I want to do the edit.
Please do that. That's hilarious.
This reminds me of my favorite 5-second film. If you guys have never
Yeah, I
seen
love
5-second
it.
films
I love
on YouTube, go check them out. You can spend all day watching 6,000 videos in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're so funny.
But there's an episode where this dude's like And this guy's talking to his son. He's like handing him his watch, and he's like, and one day I'm gonna pass this on to you. And the son looks up to him, and he's like your mental disease. And then he goes, exactly. And he like, and they shoot. They cut to another frame, and he's not there. And he's like,
just pat in the
that
head.
is the best.
I died when I first saw that.
So perfect.
That's so fucking funny.
You guys
5
ever had
Second Film was doing it way before
Vine.
TikTok or Vine.
like a good year before Vine too?
5 Second Films have been alive for like 5 years before Vine.
What was it? Fuck, you guys have like this existential crisis? Or
Existential
crisis.
Yeah, all the
When
time.
you think about reality and shit,
Yeah.
and it freaks you out, or like life after death.
I had one yesterday because I was on fucking TikTok, and they were talking about how to survive a nuclear missile for some reason. On like I read it, there was like one of those stupid Reddit reading posts, and they're like, "Here's what you do if you need to survive a nuclear missile." And I just suddenly started thinking about the possibility that a nuclear missile would fucking hit the United States with everything that's fucking going on, and I just stared at the ceiling and I just went like, "Dude, we're fucked if that happens." Like, I'm not gonna make
Let
it.
me tell you something.
Yeah,
Let me tell you something.
yeah.
When someone says, "Here's how to survive a nuke," I don't want to live in that post world.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want to like eat rats and be the only person alive and live out just a miserable life for
it's
the
not
rest
gonna
of
be
my
fucking
days.
Fallout immediately.
Yeah,
but
It will. No, what are you talking about? It'll be like, I don't want to have to kill and eat you guys.
no one really, even though we have them, no one wants to shoot them.
Like, what's that movie? What's that movie where the guy and his son is just like, it's alone or something? It's like the dude is just walking through just a wasteland. Or that movie, like Book of Eli.
Book of Eli fucks.
Okay. I don't want to live in that world, bro. I don't want to do it.
Gary Whitta wrote that movie.
Who?
Oh yeah, that dude's bizarre.
Yeah, he's a
Who
gay.
wrote
I think he writes.
He wrote Rogue One.
Yeah, I know. Well, he didn't write the whole thing, did he? He just wrote on it.
Part of it. He did something else.
There's a guy on another YouTube channel that's kind of funny, and they have this writer that writes on these movies. He just does
YouTube on
game
the side?
stuff with it. He just
That's
fucks
fucking
around.
awesome.
He has a Twitch and everything. He's a huge game.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
know,
bizarre. I'm like, why are you going down in your career? Why?
That's not going down.
Nah, he's going
has no
parallel,
bags.
baby.
Parallel, yeah. I guess I was like, why are you shifting into another lane, man?
It's new
Like,
media versus old media.
Dude, like I was like famous, like fucking like Drake famous. I would be like a gamer. All
no,
over
piss
and
off. If you're like Will Smith and you start a gaming channel, fuck right off.
It depends on how you
knock
do it.
that
Jack Black
off.
did it. Jack Black did it, and it's kind of okay.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I'd be like
There's
normal.
exceptions to the rule
Yeah.
episode, but if you're a megastar like that,
The
that's
thing is,
like
like,
John
you can-
John Krasinski
Krasinski.
or Krasinski,
Skinhead.
John Skinhead.
The Quiet Place guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was out of pocket.
Is he really married to Emily Blunt?
Kristen. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Was that hard to
Krasinski.
believe?
No, I mean that's great chemistry there.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
John Krasinski. No, like you can do it respectfully without taking away from the platform.
Yeah, I won't do that
like,
at all.
Yeah, like just make an account. Don't go through corporate. Just make an account and start streaming.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, oh look, guys, I play video games too. No, I'm be like, yeah, I play fucking video games.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Henry Cavill's his like.
Henry Cavill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Henry Cavill's like a good
he
brand.
just
He's a
like
PC
he's just like
gamer.
I like building PCs.
Like, Jack, he's the meme.
He has that meme. He's like,
Yeah, some nerd talking about PlayStation on the other side. and
Yeah.
just him
nah,
building
brother,
PC.
just play what you want to play.
He has an anime profile too.
Yeah, he's-
Anime girl.
I love it. Henry Cavill's fucking lit.
Is he?
dude, this entire
Yeah, he's
like
fun.
the first like the warm up for the podcast, it sounded just like a Reddit post. Speaking of a Reddit post, let's talk about the Batman, and the Riddler,
Was it in
the
beginning?
Redditor.
Or you cut that out?
I recorded some of it. I don't fucking remember what I caught. I'll cut it together.
Instead of it's not the Riddler, it's the Redditor.
The Reddit.
The Reddit.
He does look like the average Redditor user.
He does. Yeah, he does
Just
kind of
the-
look like the meme
the
of like
fog-
an angry Redditor.
Fogged up glasses,
Yeah.
greasy face.
But before we get started with that, welcome to episode 82 of the Drunken Ship Podcast. We missed last week. We had some shit happen, but we're back today.
We're back. I'm thinking I'm back. They're watching clips of that last
Stop
night.
that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
God,
a fun joke.
I
It's a good
cannot
joke.
wait for fucking 4, dude.
Dude, John Wick 4.
Halle
Yeah.
Berry
You know how I
is
watched
so
John
fucking
Wick
good
1?
and through.
Yeah.
I watched it like on a like DVD that I thought it was gonna be one of those like John Wick 1 was like made like just one of those like burnout
Action
like
January release movies.
yeah it just comes and goes like The Mechanic or something like that, just a film that just completely gets forgotten.
Should have been this big.
Yeah, and it is. I never understood
You know why I
why
think
it,
it's that
it
big?
exploded.
I have a theory as to why it's that big. It was self-aware from the very beginning.
I don't think so.
It was absolutely
No, I
self-aware.
don't. Yeah,
It was
It
self-aware.
just so happened to be a good, enjoyable movie.
It was a good movie, but it was self-aware. It knew how ridiculous it was. Like
2
the
was
universe.
like that. 2 was like that.
Both of them, all of them. They've been that way since the beginning.
You think so?
I think it became self-aware because the concept was stupid. But when that movie came out, it was just a generic action film.
Crockett. Look at the plot of John Wick. A divorced man,
Yes.
or a widowed man, kills an entire Russian mafia because the son of that Russian mafia killed his dog.
Out of context.
That was a present from his dead wife.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that movie didn't know that plot was ridiculous.
Well, you can make that
still made it
same
work.
plot in the 90s and 80s of an action movie. Same.
Yeah. But in the fact that they stuck with that, they chose that plot, and then centered around that plot, they created this universe of assassins, this world of assassins.
That's when it gets crazy.
This lore of weird assassins that use coins.
I think it span out of control.
It did not.
But they
spin out
did
of
not
control.
know what they were
Well,
doing.
here's the
They
thing,
did.
though.
They
Like I
did.
tell
They didn't.
people, Fast and Furious is the franchise you're talking about. I don't know what they're doing.
Oh
Yeah.
no, they totally they led into. Well, I think what they did was extremely smart, and we can have a whole episode about Fast and Furious
I love
because
this is a recurring topic on the podcast.
this is our
Fast and
part.
Furious
our
has a
Fast and
history of
Furious.
Drunken Ship for some fucking.
I don't know why. Yeah, we're intrinsically linked to that fucking.
But like
franchise.
that series was dead. After Tokyo Drift, Tokyo Drift was amazing, and I think that's the only reason that saved the franchise in the first place. But when they went back to 4, because it was dead, they were already doing spin-offs at 3, and they're like, okay, that's this is done. This was just a Point Break ripoff. They started doing. They did 4, and they led really hard into they knew their audience, and they knew exactly what they wanted, and that just tumbleweed and snowballed into this huge, massive universe, and they kept leading harder and harder and harder. And when they did like the whole Jason Statham thing, and they had Vin Diesel punch the ground and break off a piece of parking lot.
No, it wasn't that they got me. It was the Hobbs and Shaw trailer, and they said,
Hobbs and
fucking
Shaw.
secret.
No, that's when they went full. They were fully into it.
Like
But
you
they
look
were
at that, then look at the first movie. What happened?
Yeah, the first movie they were
It's
selling
like DVDs.
DVDs.
Then there's a superhuman in there.
Wild.
I'm the Black Superman.
Black Superman.
I
I love that guy. He's a great actor. Oh, he's Knuckles too.
Idris Elba. Yeah, Idris Elba fucking rules.
He's awesome.
So John Wick was not that. John Wick was a movie that just happened to work because the plot is ridiculous. The people knew that the plot was ridiculous. It was heavily stylized, and the action was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like Keanu Reeves. They're like, holy shit, Keanu Reeves is actually good.
But they took it seriously.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
They didn't.
William Dafoe was in that film.
They presented.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, William Dafoe? Is in it?
yeah, in the
Yeah,
first
he's a
one.
sniper guy.
Yeah.
I forgot.
About that.
That was his friend, and he was like, "They killed my friend."
Yeah, they were
fucking remember
friends.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a thin line.
Because
when
it wasn't like this huge network of assassins. It was just like
it was always the huge network. It was
like
always
there was
there.
like 4 assassons. They're like, okay,
We only saw 4 because
really,
it was the first movie and they had a low budget.
yeah,
club
but it wasn't
scenes.
like they didn't know what they had. They didn't know what they
They
stumbled
did-
into.
Who cares? John Wick is amazing.
Yeah, I guarantee you, John Wick is amazing.
Anyway.
that just bothers me because it's just they knew what they were doing and they fucking did it.
We have to agree to disagree
I've
on
heard
this.
the
Dude.
guy talk about this. I've read his like the way that he talks about John Wick. I know
that screams to me is like, oh yeah, I totally knew what I was doing.
No,
oh
give me
yeah,
a-
I totally, I
Fuck you.
knew what I was doing.
You're
Give me
wrong.
like a 6-episode miniseries of prequel John Wick on HBO Max.
Yeah, that'd be fucking sick.
A prequel.
I would watch that
Yeah.
hell out of that.
Oh,
Like
they
on
should
his
do a
assassin
prequel.
days.
Why do you?
Yeah, your Assassin Days.
Yeah,
on
Assassin.
one mission to do something.
Yeah.
But that's
6 episodes.
Give me the reason, like the conflict that led him to leave.
Yeah.
Just that.
Or give me a fucking series with Halle Berry's character, Sophie. Fuck
Oh yeah, Halle Berry character was
Give me
She was so
wait.
good in
The
this
sidebar here. Why do movies do this where it's like the wife? There's always those flashbacks of the wife
She's like
rolling
dancing.
around
In
in
the
the
back.
bed.
White dress in a bed
Why?
like this. Yeah.
Well, why is that in films?
It started-
That is so stupid.
It came with Taken. That's the first time I ever seen it. Taken.
Taken.
Yeah.
It was Taken. It was
The Grey.
Gone
They even
Girl.
did that in Gears of War.
They do it all the time.
Wait,
dude.
yeah, that's a
Okay.
game.
Dom's
Yeah.
wife. There's a whole scene in like where Dom's wife is like
Rolling around in bed.
It's all white and it's like highly.
Because I want you to think
goddess
it's
he's with.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, she's so.
I fucking hate it. It's so
That
many
immediately,
movies.
if they do that anymore, it immediately takes me out of the movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Batman.
Yeah.
I think I'll do it Batman. Batman too.
What are they gonna do with that? It's like Martha.
Yeah.
It's just Martha rolling around in bed. Anyway, yeah, the Batman. What do you think?
Greatest
Hey, let's start
Batman
with
movie
you.
ever made.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Best Batman movie. That's it.
Yeah.
Why is it the best?
Because it's the Batman I always wanted.
Exactly. Yeah.
Past movies, I love this movie. We come to the point as a nerd fandom that these movies are like telling you straight up, like, this is why this character does this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm so sick of getting on internet and explaining why Batman doesn't fucking kill, why Superman doesn't fucking kill, whatever. Batman literally tells you here like why he doesn't fucking kill.
I think that's a small minority.
No, that's part of his character. Like, if he kills, he's fucking Punisher. That's the point.
Yeah.
Batman doesn't tolerate.
But
violence.
I think what you're seeing is just a small minority of Zack Snyder fans.
Snyder Cut.
On Christ, on my brother Christ, if you touch me, if the mic touches my lips ever again,
Ugh.
I will diverge you from your head, from your body.
Yes, Mike COVID. But no, like,
Sorry.
this is a Batman I want.
There will be a lot of these jokes.
Always wanted a Detective Batman, and they fucking did it. Everything about this movie is what I wanted.
It was a noir. It's a noir crime thriller film.
And they did a perfect balance of that and action.
This is the closest that we're gonna get to like Arkham Asylum as a movie.
Those are great portrayals of Batman. Like,
Apparently,
modern
the
interpretation.
director didn't even look at Arkham for a reference.
Yeah, because it's Batman. Because that means it's a good source material.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just look at the comics and shit.
The thing that I like about the movie a lot is that you could take Batman out of it, and it would still be a great noir thriller.
Yeah,
It doesn't need to be a Batman movie.
you know what? A lot of vibes I got off from this movie was Seven. I felt like this movie could have been like
it looked as grimy as Seven,
yeah,
for sure.
and I loved it. I ate it all up.
Oh, I made a review about the Batman. Go watch it if you care.
What I am sick of, though, is like I'm so sick of we got to take Batman realistic take. So fucking tired of it.
Oh yeah, I knew this.
He has fantastical. Like,
Well, if you don't take this version, you're taking Schumacher's version.
No, you're not.
No.
Because
see, like,
This
real
version
music.
can stand in line with the more fantastical
Yeah,
elements.
that's
of
the funny
Batman.
thing about it. You can still see, like, even though Matt Reeves doesn't want to do that,
Yeah.
you can still see mythical elements in this series. They really wanted to.
You want to do like Clayface and
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
Clayface.
Dude, that would be
or,
sick. Give me a Clayface. Give me a what's another big like the Batman villain,
Bane,
the Croc.
like a real fucking version of Bane, not that weird one we have. That's not
way
Bane.
weird.
The Dark Knight Rise of Bane is fucking terrible.
It is. It's
Yeah,
pretty
but
bad.
that would be in that.
No, that's
In this universe, yeah, that would. But that Bane could exist.
Yeah, that Bane could exist in the
Even
Batman,
in like the
Matt Reeves
Two-Face
Batman.
from the Batman Rises series is.
Like, when I was watching
You could see
this,
that in this universe.
They're dull. To me, I in retrospect, after watching this Batman, I started thinking about how much I liked Nolan's Batman films.
I haven't
Don't
watched
like
them in a minute.
Don't
A
like
lot
them.
of people are doing that, actually.
No.
I need to rewatch them, though. But Batman Begins is fucking awesome. I still stand with it.
Yeah, with the Scarecrow one. The Scarecrow one was really sick.
Yeah, I like to see him return, too. I love Scarecrow. He's my favorite Batman villain.
Scarecrow. They could do Scarecrow really well.
Yeah.
And they're always going to do quarter
Batman
hours.
always has like a prefla of like I think
Plethora.
Batman how do you say it?
Plethora.
Plethora.
Pleth-
Fuck, I cannot say it. No,
Plethora.
no.
It's a
His
gallery.
His villains are always have always been top tier.
Yeah.
Some of them.
I would almost argue that Batman probably has the best villains.
Next
His
season.
his
Probably Spider-Man, yes.
no.
And
I think
Chicago
I like-
has the most evil. Chicago is the most evilest place in the world.
What the fuck is that?
That's what Gotham is based off. Chicago.
No,
Oh,
the
no,
Nolan
it's Jersey.
franchise is Gotham. I mean, Nolan's literally Chicago.
Is that really where it
Yeah.
takes place?
Yeah.
Chicago?
But in the
comics.
and the one we're watching now, Batman feels like its own.
It's in place. Yeah, it
its
feels
own
like its own
place.
universe.
'Cause you
But
look at Nolan movies, it's like it's literally just Chicago. That's it.
canonically, Gotham is in Jersey, I think, right?
It's around.
Yeah, it's around
near
New Jersey.
Metropolis.
Yeah.
What am I gonna see? Tony Soprano out there?
Yeah, maybe fine. But I do like and I talked about this. Like the movie itself is very good. The environment is fantastic. The lighting is gorgeous. The cinematography
Sound
is
design,
fucking
too.
spot on. The sound design is
fucking
incredible.
Batmobile scene.
I see. I like the Batmobile scene. It didn't do a whole lot.
It
for
went
me.
too long though.
Yeah, other
But
than the fact that it was beautifully
Bryan,
shot.
Oh my god, the first opening scene, him so fucking
the-
good.
If there's
The
two
opening
things,
scene of
and
the
people
movie?
look in the shadows because Batman intimidated.
yes. yeah.
They don't know. They think
If
I'm
there
I
was
just
two-
knew
hiding
from the
in
get go
shadows.
it's gonna be a good fucking movie.
If there was two things I could take away from that film, it's definitely the first 10 minutes of the film,
The
which is
film's amazing.
I couldn't argue a better otter opening for a Batman.
That
Defines
fight in the
Batman so
subway was
fucking
so fantastic.
yeah.
God, And then also you just there's also like elements in this film that watches him fail, which is something you never really get to see. It's like him like actually mess up.
He's human. Yeah.
I love when he gets hit. There's a couple of shots when he gets hit in the fucking chest with a tube and he just goes, fuck.
And then, like, it's clearly this year 2 Batman, he's still kind of fucked up in the head and shit. So that's why people like the criticism you see with Batman is like he's not really Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he's Batman.
And
like,
Bruce Wayne's probably the least interesting part of Batman to me personally.
Yeah. I agree.
Playboy guy.
Yeah, and it's some corny that
it's kind of
obviously
an act, really.
That's also the thing that I really liked about Robert Pattinson's like acting choices here is that he chose to play Bruce Wayne.
It's kind of awkward actually.
As the persona for Batman.
Yeah.
Like he knows that he has to keep face, but he's not interested in it, so he's kind of half-assedly playing him.
And not only that, you kind of see it's a common stupid
Yeah.
shit comic book fans like to throw around. It's like Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is the real fucking guy. And that's what this movie is basically saying. He's filled with vengeance. He wants to get shit done and get shit fixed.
Dude,
and there's hope too. A lot of people don't realize Batman isn't this brooding asshole all the time.
This is a
He's actually
really
genuine nice
optimistic
guy. Yes,
Batman movie.
That's fucking Batman.
Yeah, it's an it's a hopeful noir.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
I was just trying. How is it hopeful?
The end of the movie recently.
Okay, I get it.
The end of the movie takes spoiler. Takes
No, whoa, don't spoil for him.
Spoil the fucking
We'll
movie.
spoil it in
It's been
another.
2
We'll do
weeks.
another video.
No,
No, we're not.
Anyway,
I already talked about it in the review.
but like, I just want to. I annoyed the shit out of Adriana
Yeah.
for like a week. I just kept going. I like every 20 minutes, I'm like, fear is a tool. I am vengeance.
They're the worst.
I am vengeance.
They think I'm hiding in the shadows. I am.
The shadow.
God, that's so good.
Dude, I got a big popcorn bucket for the Batman, and then I got this sick cup, and I've been drinking water out of it like every day. This awesome Batman cup.
Robert Pattinson's movies are going to be your personality every time he drops a new one.
Well, I can't wait.
The Lighthouse.
I can't wait for the sequel, dude. But I felt the 3 hours of this movie. Like,
It could have been 40 minutes shorter.
Yeah, I
been
think it could have had like because at the end you felt like it was going to end like 4 times.
I was watching some reviews. Some people said like even though it was long, it didn't feel wasted though. Like some of those scenes really hit, and I'm like sure.
Yeah.
But I'm impatient. I want to leave.
I totally agree. I feel like everything that was in the movie had a right to be in the movie. Like I didn't feel like anything that was there should not have been in the film.
It's like a director's cut.
But 3 hours definitely felt like 3 hours.
Hard, yeah.
It was, and it's just because the movie is so deliberately paced and so slow. And Batman walks in fucking slow motion almost half the time.
I love when they make the sound he stomps and shit.
Yeah,
it's
great.
Fucking good. Dude, every time I watch this movie and like
Did you go see it twice?
No, I'm not seeing this twice. Fuck that.
It's fucking 3 hours.
I buy the 4K Blu-ray.
I think I really want to go watch it in IMAX just one more time.
I watched in IMAX. Oh, you did?
I know.
Watch it in IMAX?
No, I watched in IMAX. I just want to watch it in IMAX again because I'm not going to get that at home.
That Batman scene.
The car scene, dude. I was like kind of near a speaker.
The club.
Oh my god, the sound designer. Who was the sound designer? Because they did an amazing
They
job.
spoiled a lot in trailers though. None of those scenes really hit like they should though. Like that should have been like in a sequel.
My favorite moments of the film were like the tiny moments of comedy where like
That's your thing?
Batman, because I love because life is funny. Life is objectively funny. And sometimes, no matter how serious you are, you're going to say something funny.
And that's the problem with people with Batman. And like, I hate bringing it up, but Snyder fans hate seeing a Batman who jokes.
Yeah.
He ain't this brooding god 24/7. People thinks he is. That's the meme. He's human. He acts like this in the comic books.
And like the world itself feels humorous in a way. Everyone takes it very seriously.
Yeah.
But like moments like when Batman shows up to the club and then he's just like, you know who I am. Yeah. I'm here to see the fucking whatever, the penguin.
Or the thumb drive scene.
The thumb drive was really funny.
Him and Gordon is very fucking spot on.
Yeah, that relationship fucking ruled.
Dude, I love Jeffrey Wright.
Dude,
I've always been a Jeffrey Wright fan since I saw him in
I never seen him in anything
Westworld.
else.
He was in Westworld, and dude, I never saw him in anything else other than Westworld. I'm like, I love this dude. I'm like, we should really get more of this.
This entire cast, I've been on day one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, this
Zoe Kravitz killed it.
Yeah,
Robert Pattinson.
I didn't doubt none of them. Like, sure, let's do it. This showed me a good. Like when Matt Reeves says he's gonna be a Batman Noir film, he already sold me. That's all I fucking want.
Dude, the Colin Farrow as the Penguin itself.
Yeah.
Is
you know what
incredible.
I just thought of like a couple minutes ago was.
What?
Colin Farrow did a great job, but you know who would have been great as the Penguin other than our god Danny DeVito? James Gaffiani would have been amazing. Yeah,
isn't he the Sopranos guy?
Yeah. He would have been. Dude, I just thought of that and I was like, dude, he would have been
Batman.
Oh my god, he would have been the perfect Penguin.
Ragazzo.
You fucking my
That's a calamari, Batman. He's fucking Batman.
You're Spanish as shit, Batman.
That was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
No, I think the Batman is everything that I wanted a Batman movie to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
that's all I asked for.
It was good. The reception for the movie annoyed me.
What do you mean?
Though people talking about the movie kind of annoyed me a lot because they were like, "Oh, this is what like the evolution of superhero films."
Who said that?
Some fucking.
It's not what people want. Says it's what people want it.
Yeah.
It's not.
Don't you hate that when you see something stupid and it really and you
just
can come
fucking
over?
borrows it.
Yeah, you can come over it, and it was just some stupid comment, but then it just stays with you, and then you think that it's all like that. And I feel people do get hung up on like dumb stuff because everyone on the internet sounds as loud, but they're not necessarily like that popular.
But I kept seeing that praise. I kept seeing that praise about like wanting. I thought something went wrong for a second.
Look at the camera.
You never look at the camera. I was like, what the fuck happened? But the people were singing that praise. So it was like, oh, this is what I want all superhero movies to be. This is like what superheroes movies should be.
If they do that, then people criticize like Marvel.
Yeah, it's just like the Marvel has ruined superhero content, in my opinion, or films, because now anything that is like either outside of that formula gets overly praised by like the Batman deserves all the praise it got a lot of the time, but it's not the best goddamn movie in the
generic,
world.
like when you mean like when something's generic and you do a little slightly above that and you have original idea,
people freak the fuck out.
And then it's like the best thing ever. It's not necessarily the best, but just from the slosh that we're normally getting, it's good.
It's like just because Matt Reeves' Batman had a vision that was able to get portrayed and was really solidly crafted and everything, does not mean that it doesn't mean that it was like as good as people thought it was. You know what I'm saying? We're just used to seeing Marvel movies and Marvel TV shows that all look and sound the same. So we get something different and we freak the fuck out. And then the market makes a huge shift about it because people on the internet are going fucking crazy.
Right.
And then we get the samey bullshit again over for DC.
But
DC already pushed back like 3 or 4 properties because of the Batman.
But I would say though, with this film, as Batman fans, is like we've been asking for something like this forever.
Yeah, and it was good.
Go ahead, because Tay's going to say something about me saying as Batman fan.
Shut up.
I shouldn't have to prove to you I'm a Batman fan.
I'm not a Batman fan.
I feel but I don't like saying that.
I actually have Batman fatigue. Like I'm fucking tired of Batman.
Like I like Batman, but like Christopher Nolan's Batman's like did a whole lot for me after Batman. And then I watched more into the source material as Batman, and the more that I watch into the source material, the more I hate Nolan's films.
No, Nolan's people like to rag on Marvel. I think Nolan's did worse for the term of comic book movies.
Yeah.
DC trying to change their entire perspective of comic books with Nolan. They think everything's supposed to be what Nolan did.
Yeah, Nolan is the Joss Whedon for the DC universe.
It's just new iterations. That's all it is. I mean, every 10 years we get a new version of like the Batman.
Batman's been dark since the fucking 80s. It's nothing new. Just Nolan just made it popularized. Like the way Batman is viewed was never this weird way until Nolan did it. Like it was.
Well, they just wanted to. They took a realistic approach because we got a bunch of comic V versions with Batman and Robin, and then the Batman and then all that stuff, like in the Batman. God damn, we gotta start calling it Batman 1 or something else.
Batman 600.
Because there's so many different
Batman
versions
Robin,
from the 89 and then 90 and then Jesus Christ.
Just call them by the dates.
Yeah.
Like Nolan, when that actually came out, like so fucking annoying being the comic book fan with Nolan movies out. Because like that's what people had this vice grip on The Dark Knight, which they so afraid to let go. The Batman's so much better than the Nolan movies.
It was a good movie. Yeah. It just like
it looks.
People are afraid to say something's better than the other one. That's the problem with these movies.
It's a good movie, but we had it for so long that now it comes almost tainted.
Like it's a standard.
Like it was. If you had never seen that film and then you watched it, you were like, "Whoa, that was a good movie." But you let other people be a bitch in your ear and tell you that like this is the great. It's just other people ruining a good thing.
No. I think that objectively, Nolan's Batman's had a quantifiable shift in the market of superhero movies, and a bad one at that.
In a bad way. They're not discrediting those movies.
Yeah, the movies are well produced. Yeah. The movies are good, but the way that it shifted culture was objectively bad for the market.
Well, that's inherently people's fault.
No, it was.
Well, it's always people's fault.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like the thing. It's like,
but it's not the internet.
But you'll never get something untainted like that.
Well, no, it's not that it's untainted.
And guaranteed. So we're enjoying the Batman now, but in like 10 years, people are gonna be like,
dude, that's next fucking month.
They're
that's
like
Twitter.
In 10, but like in a couple years, it's just gonna be like the Dark Knight. The Batman will be like just known as just a bad film.
Here's the thing. No, it won't. No, it won't.
It will.
No, it won't.
Because people said the exact same thing
spoiler
about the Dark
alert.
Knight.
What you guys are talking about, and while looking at the cameras, I'm making a video soon about this shit.
Interesting.
Because it's like it's really infuriating.
Yeah, because that's how they shift.
Let me read your script.
Huh.
Let me read your script.
It's gonna mostly about how nerd geek culture is the way it's being perceived right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been on Twitter lately. Haven't noticed.
Yeah. Good for you, man.
Because it's like I look up to Twitter and look at these takes and shit, and like, guys,
they're bad. They're bad takes. But I don't think the Batman
is this one of them.
I don't think the Batman will be looked at as Christopher Nolan's Batman.
No.
The reason I say that is because Christopher Nolan's Batman existed in a vacuum of Batman. It was the only Batman movie that was out after 20 years. Mm-hmm. So it kind of took a hold of the market and it said, this is now the new standard of movie. And then it shifted. It took 10 years for us to walk away from that Batman version.
God damn.
Because
irritating.
It was the only version of Batman that existed as a live action. And it shifted the way that people looked at superhero movies because it was so successful. The market wanted to shift in its direction. And then we got all of the bad subsequent DC universe movies that happened after that.
He's right, because it's like, so Batman, the Nolan movies at least, came around a time where these comic book movies, they were afraid to be comic book movies.
Yeah.
So the reason why the Nolan Batman worked was it was still at the end of the 2000s where the black suits, the leather black suits, serious comic book movies.
Wet leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Nolan's probably one of the best ones up there next to fucking Spider-Man. But when Batman came out, so I don't think it's the audience's fault. It's more the corporation's fault. Because the Nolan movies are good movies, okay.
Yeah.
And fans like those. But DC just thought, maybe we should do this to every fucking character we own.
Yeah.
They did a Green Arrow. He's nothing like his comic book
Well,
counterpart.
I think what they did,
Arrow's literally a Nolan franchise, Nolan series.
Because I feel like DC was looking just like, well, we can't just we don't want to copy Marvel because then we're going to look like shills.
But DC was not.
This was before all that shit.
Yeah. DC was the trendsetter here.
Yeah.
They're the ones that did the superhero movies.
Yeah.
Marvel came afterwards.
Yeah. This is before like Marvel became more mainstream than it is today. So
Before,
DC
like at this point, we had like what, Iron Man 1,
Iron Man
maybe?
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2. Yeah. Dark Knight came out a year before Avengers, I think.
No, Dark Knight came out way before Avengers.
When Dark Knight come? Not Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Rises. I'm sorry.
The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, Dark Knight Rises probably came out like 2 or 3 years before Avengers.
Yeah. So this is before Marvel got to their peak. So this is DC's choices here. They did the Green Arrow, and they're like, look at Man of Steel. Like, as a Superman movie fan, that movie fucking offends me hard because it's nothing like Superman personally. They use that Nolan style to do Superman. It doesn't work for every character they have. That's the problem.
Well, that's the thing. DC took an approach where they had a tone and a perspective, and they put that on top of every franchise that they had, instead of looking at the franchises that they had and saying what works for this film. Yeah. And so like that's the thing that Marvel did well at the beginning. They took a movie, they took a superhero, and they said what kind of movie works well with the superhero. And then we got the Avengers, and then everything became homogenized and the same thing. Yeah. And so, like, it's what you're saying that is happening by the internet is actually happening by the corporations, not the audiences that are watching these films. The audiences fall into the trap of believing pop culture critics, which is will come up later on in the topics, believing pop culture critics and their bad takes.
Do it now.
That's shut up. I'm doing it.
No, I thought you were gonna say though I thought you mean like fans going to shit on this movie by next month, which they probably will.
No, they probably
not
will,
next month, but in a couple years they'll reflect back. I mean, it's just.
But you always reflect back, and the only way that can happen, honestly.
Wait. But inherently, it's just hype. People get gassed. The majority of people. But like,
thank you, because it's like I'm saying people shit on No Way Home. Like, it's a good fucking movie. I stand by that. It's not because. Oh, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield's in the movie, so it should be good automatically. No, it's a good fucking movie. Still is.
Yeah.
I hate when people bring up this recent hype bias shit because it's not true.
It's like people are not allowed to get excited about shit anymore because when you get excited, it detracts away from the product, and that's inherently wrong. I feel like you can get excited for a product, but you got to think critically about the product.
And I'm doing both at the same time.
You're like, oh, I got excited. Spider-Man was a great fucking movie. I had a great time watching it. I can see flaws in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Batman was a great fucking movie. I loved watching it. I liked the experience. I can see flaws in the Batman.
People
But that part, sorry, Ty, I don't mean to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good.
But
You're
that part, the critical thinking about something that you like, gets conflated with people thinking that because you're looking at this thing critically and you're observing its flaws, it suddenly means that you think that the product isn't good or was worth the excitement. And that is the shift in pop culture critics.
This is literally my video I'm talking about.
Fucking annoys the shit out of me.
This is literally my video I'm talking about.
Because we're not thinking critically about the products. We're thinking emotionally about the products. Oh, like, yo, you're attacking the thing that I like, so you don't think it's good, so go fuck yourself. And that's like the internet ambience that's happening in pop culture right now.
It's both ways, honestly.
Yeah. And so now when you're talking about like we're going to be looking back at the Batman and we're going to criticize it and people are going to call it bad, yeah, that's going to happen. Some people are not going to like it. But a lot of the hype, when the hype fades, people start thinking a little bit more critically. They point out flaws. And people confuse flaw pointing with not liking the product. And the conversation gets shifted.
See, I partially disagree with that. Because it's like, as one YouTuber make a video in 2 years, the Batman wasn't as good as you think it was. It gets like 2 billion views. After that, everyone has the same
Everyone
opinion.
has the same goddamn opinion.
That I have a big fucking pet peeve with that. That happened to the Spider-Man franchises.
Well, you know why they do that, right?
No, I mean it's their opinion, but
It's not their opinion, dude. It's literally like, oh shit, my channel isn't doing well.
Let me drop a controversial opinion.
Let me play devil's advocate and make some. That's the thing. It's inherently all these YouTubers, they're just inherently corrupted because you know what's easy to do is just to say something is shitty that people like, and they'll immediately come to your video to hate on it. It's just like Twitter, like that one dude, that Snyder dude that I was shitting on the other day. It was like he literally made that tweet to bait people to come to his Twitter.
No, this is his genuine feelings. See, this I think I tweet this guy too, right?
Well, there's also going to be some dumbheads.
Some people make these tweets and articles and reviews way before the movie comes out.
Yeah.
This is what this guy did. He had this in his draft.
They decide how they feel. Yeah.
Just waiting for the movie to come out.
They decide how they feel before they watch the product, and I think
this is what we're talking about is what my video is going to be about.
We can make a whole episode on this topic because I have a lot to say about it too.
Yeah.
I'm super interested in getting your. I will hope you shoot it if you want me to, because I'm super interested in getting this.
I just don't know how to write it because it's gonna sound like I'm venting.
Yeah,
it's literally gonna be my intro to the video. Like I don't know how to make this.
I'll hit me up. We'll talk about it. I'll help you with that. But before we go into do a lot, Elden Ring came out recently, and Elden Ring suffered a little bit from that pop culture hype beast that we were talking about a lot too. I've personally been playing the dog shit out of Elden Ring.
I have also. That's all.
Yeah.
Literally, that's all I did yesterday. I think it was like 9:30 to like 4:30. No, I didn't work yesterday.
And I was one of the people that was fucking angry about Elden Ring hype. Like I wanted it to come out.
Oh god, I wanted it to fail because I was sick of people talking about it. I was like,
and then I played it and it was good, and it made me angry that it was good, but it was really good because I talked so much shit about it.
Yeah, because
I just didn't care.
When you go in wanting to hate something, and then you know it's good when you have to.
Yeah.
You're like, good.
Why do people do that though?
People had talked about it to me so much that I was already annoyed at the game before it came out.
It taints everything. You let other people be in your ear, and it taints it. It doesn't matter. There's good taints and there's bad taints. I mean, someone will gas it up for you, and usually when they gas it up, they're like, "This is going to be the greatest movie ever," and they keep telling you that, and you're like, "Okay, man, I'm expecting the best movie ever," and you get there and you're like, "It was subpar," and I really hate it now.
But you got to remember that's that person's opinion. No one does.
Yeah,
that.
but if they're in your, it is more than one person, and like I said, like people will sound a lot louder on the internet than they actually do in real life.
Yeah, my Twitter
3
feed
people
would
in
not
a
shut the fuck
room.
up.
In a coffee shop is not as big as like 3 people on Twitter retweeting their shit. Also, looking at numbers on retweets and stuff, and thinking that is the opinion, that's the overall opinion. Not necessarily,
right?
Because there could be bot accounts.
What you laughing about?
This is literally talking about this entire episode is gonna be my video.
Yeah.
No,
But
just play the video on top of it.
Fucking
But that's what happened with Elden Ring. That's what happened to me. Like me and Crockett were fucking sick and tired of hearing about Elden Ring because it got pushed back like 4 times.
Did it really?
Yeah, it got pushed back like at least twice, and people wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. And I wanted it to be done and come out. And then the game was great, and I'm having a great time with it, and I love it.
That's what matters. It's
And,
fucking great though.
Yeah, and so, but Elden Ring, apart from like playing the fuck out of it, like I think it's Miyazaki as a designer really put the whole package together with Elden Ring. It's like for me, all the 7 games, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3, 4, Sekiro, Bloodborne, 6 games.
Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
The previous 6 games From Software has made has all been leading up to the style of gameplay that Elden Ring offers you. And everything gets improved sort of, I think, by the open world. It gets improved by the fast travel mechanics on the map. It gets improved by kind of all the little quality of life fixes that they added.
They perfected the style.
Into other. What did you say?
They evolved.
Yeah. And so like every From Software game was better than the previous From Software game. So that makes a lot of sense.
There is little sprinkles of the other games inside of this game as well.
Are they one universe?
There's
Elden Ring is separate. It's a new IP. It's a spiritual successor.
Kind of like in the realm of like Sekiro or Bloodborne. It's different. It's different. It's a different game, but it carries that same mechanics.
Yeah. Okay.
So that being said, like I feel like you were saying something.
There's so you can go literally. They have sprinkled in other games. So you can make a build in this game that's literally Sekiro.
Yeah.
They have mechanics, the same mechanics in Sekiro. You can do that in this game. There was an alley I was running down in Volcano Manor the other night where I'm like, this is literally an alley from Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I recognize this.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, I'm like, they've literally injected elements of their other games into this. And literally, I keep saying this, but I am fairly confident that this is like their peak. This is pretty much their Avengers. This has been building up for years, and they've hit a certain point where all these games, they've taken every lesson they've learned from other games and they've culminated into one game.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I feel like it's the entire package of the genre into like one game. And it's a phenomenal game. And I still got some issues with it. They're mostly UI. I feel like the UI, the user interface for Souls game is annoying and tedious.
Yeah, they're always that way, apparently.
They've always been that way.
They don't really pause.
They don't pause, and I don't mind the not pausing, but like item navigation and everything like that. To say that about a game, that your biggest flaw of the game is really the UI, is incredible. The game is phenomenal. It feels good. The sense of discovery that you get from just walking around the game,
holy shit,
and figuring out what the world is unparalleled. It's the closest thing to a true open world game that we've seen.
Since Breath of the Wild.
Not since Breath of the Wild, but that we've seen after the release of Breath of the Wild.
This one makes sense
consoles.
To me. I mean, the conversation we had a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Elden Ring makes more sense to me than Breath of the Wild in terms of discovery.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, Elden Ring is considerably more packed with stuff to discover. But this is what an open world game for me feels in a world that's outside of the open world that Nintendo offers. It's like you literally spawn and you can go anywhere on the map, regardless of where you're at a level, regardless of your weapons, and you can learn how to get good there, or you can get fucked. And
even places that are locked away,
yeah,
you can find items to get to there. Without having to defeat any bosses.
And so I haven't been looking up at any walkthrough. I haven't been doing anything. I've just literally been launching the world and seeing where I go and where it takes me. And I've had such a great time just letting my brain scour.
Got off the app, people was like saying it was kind of. It doesn't give you a typical waypoint stuff, does it? It just throws you in.
You said your own waypoints, really.
Well, it gives you a direction. There's multiple directions to go. That might be a little bit of a hang up for me because there's some points where I'm like, I don't know where exactly I am in the story. And that's part of it. Like, that's part of their like exploration, like figure it out yourself. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I'm just kind of like, I don't really know. Like, I don't know when I've completed killing a main share, like main someone, boss. Yeah, like because there's so many mini bosses and everything. Like, there's because they point you in a direction. You find like a new place to save, and then when there's a direction to point you in, and I followed one last night to a very end, and I already killed the boss and everything at that one end of the point, and I'm like, was that the end, or am I supposed to find something else?
Right.
Is that lady at the end, the final boss? That girl.
No,
the redheaded girl.
Final boss is some other.
No, it's her.
It's her.
She's her.
Isn't it the Ganon?
Ganon?
Oh no, it's.
You talking Radon?
Radon. Yeah.
No, this is a side thing, dude.
Ganon's Breath of the Wild. Cross universe.
The guy that looks like Ganon. Yeah, but that being said, like sometimes that is a hang up, but I find myself being okay with that because Dark Souls and Souls-like games have always been so ambiguous with the storytelling that even when I knew where to go in a Dark Souls game, I still didn't really know if I was like beating the story or not.
I have no idea. Yeah, really, I don't know who's an actual shard bearer. And,
Oftentimes I find out just context clues in the games. Like the shard bearers have cutscenes.
So I don't know nothing about the Soul series, even though I have Demon Souls remake.
Yeah, I really want to play Demon Souls
it's
remake just to see how it looks.
I don't even know the trailers. I don't remember the trailers either. So is Elden Ring like the Master Sword or something in this game?
The Elden Ring is the bonfire of this game. It's the same plot.
No,
as
Elden
Dark
Ring,
Souls.
Like it gives you the most best stats and shit.
No, so the Elden Ring is part of the story. So like the story is that death came out of cycle, and then death people are coming back to life the same way that it's always been in the Souls game.
Gotcha. Yeah.
In Dark Souls, you have to light the bonfire to restore order back to the life and death, or you could choose not to. In Elden Ring, you have to put the ring back together to become the Lord, to hopefully bring order back to
life and
the
death.
natural
like a
world.
kingdom.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's always the same plot, but it's the lore behind it and the story of each boss, and everything else is kind of hidden in context clues and environmental storytelling. And you can find an item that gives you something, or when you read the boss's weapons description, there's like a remnant of a story that you can tell. And if you really want to understand the story, you just go to Vadi Vidya on YouTube.
I think I know this guy.
Yeah, he has a fucking dominion.
Not much work that has to do that.
Oh, dude, yeah.
A lot of probably reading forums and just connecting the dots into different places.
Yeah, he's got a whole community of people that just find Easter eggs.
Surprised I don't got like a good the handbook type of thing for Dark Souls anymore, or like
like a
straight
book?
up lore.
Yeah,
I think they do have books that you can go. They do have a Dark Souls book that you can go.
Put it all in order and shit from the creator.
Yeah. Well, it's almost subjective on how you want to like look at view things in it. You get a lot of stuff too from just like finding NPCs and just exhausting their dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys talking about the critics and stuff? What's going on?
So that being said, like when we're talking about critics, is that game review? You know more about this. This was your topic.
So granted, this game got a lot of. Immediately out the gate, it got a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
IGN gave it a 10 out of 10. GameSpot gave it pretty much a higher score, like a 9 something. And people snowball, and this is what we're kind of talking about earlier. Was just like people were so hyped over this game. And it was snowballing like crazy. I mean, at the Game Awards, the big pot guy came out and talked to Jeff Keighley.
I did not know that.
The
jar.
The jar dude.
I've
been calling him big pot guy.
Big pot guy.
I don't remember this at all.
There's a big jar dude came through at the Game Awards and handed him a little note.
Oh, that was Elden Ring?
That was Elden Ring, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember this.
And from there, from then on, it's been nonstop in the media. Like, oh, dude, Elden Ring. And, like, Dark Souls gets a lot of hype, but this was like...
Bloodborne started this.
This was crazy. Like, this was the most hype I think I've ever seen this game get.
Bloodborne kind of started the popularizer of the Soul series.
Dark Souls 2.
Yeah,
Dark Souls 3 was...
I wouldn't say Dark Souls 2.
It was niche, but Bloodborne, for some reason, just everyone started playing that game.
Because it was easily... It was more... Dark Souls... Bloodborne is the easiest Souls game.
That's the one I want to play the most. I still haven't got to it yet.
That's good. Sorry, go ahead, Colin.
But, like, it just kept snowballing, and then people just... I think people were getting hyped up, and then when it got a 10 out of 10, and they said this is a perfect game. Well, okay.
I get you saying.
That's not exact. I'm not saying that they said that.
That's
it's
what
it's a
10 out
perfect
of 10
game.
is perceived as.
But, like, people look at a 10 out of 10, and they go, perfect game. Their dog brain clicks, and they're like, perfect game.
The monkey brain.
Monkey brain hit 10. We got it. 10. Perfect. They went in there and got demolished. This reminds me exactly of a tweet I saw a couple of years ago when Sekiro came out. And this dude, literally within a couple hours, he buys it from GameStop, takes a picture of it, sends it to Twitter, says, just got Game of the Year right here.
Yeah.
Probably 5 hours later, he goes back. He's like, this game fucking blew. And then he goes, returns it to the GameStop. He's like,
see, I don't think you guys who don't know who brought up the problem is the critic. I think it's more like hype culture in general is the problem.
I totally agree. The problem is that hype culture gets perpetuated by online popular media, by online popular critics. You know, like YouTube critics especially. I tend to have a bit of a problem with, because criticism is one of those things that should be a little bit gatekept.
Amen.
Not everybody has opinions on media that are respectable. You know, so like criticism is one of those things that I feel should be left to professional critics and people that break into I say this as a YouTube critic myself.
Yeah, but I feel like people should at least, with like instances like this, where people should be allowed to like shop around.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be allowed to like.
What?
Studio pop.
We gotta get some like lines in here or something. We can't let people keep
a
looking at
gaggle
this
of
one.
white girls just walk by the studio. Go on.
They shouldn't allow people. We shouldn't just go to one source and be like, their opinion is law. This is actual fact. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect game.
Yeah.
You should be allowed to have a large assortment of different opinions, and maybe you find one critic that you will have a kinship with. You be like, this guy kind of understands where I'm coming from when I like the games that I want.
The way that I look at games.
Yeah, he's like,
games,
this guy's gonna review a game on my behalf.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being kind of like a corporation, someone was assigned this project, and yada yada. Because I feel like with some like game reviews, I feel like Souls games especially, they kind of assign those games to people that know Souls games, which in granted that's fine. That's fine because because they're going to know if it's good or bad for Souls games. But for a wide variety of audience, maybe not so.
Yeah.
Maybe not this game is not for everybody. It's just for this, but it's almost you can't always go with just one review, and I feel like you're gonna have to. People got to stop walking by. I swear. They're gonna have to like
Expand
branch
their
out.
horizons.
Yeah, like you can't. And I don't know how. What I'm trying to think of like a way to solve this, but I don't really think it is other than shopping around.
I get where you're coming from because like, see, when it comes to the critics things, I'm both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Critics and fans. Fans only like what they like to see. So if the game, so people hate IGN. That's the fucking trend thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hate IGN because their favorite game didn't get graded. But when their favorite game gets graded great, they praise them.
Yeah.
Vice versa. But when it comes to like, I'm both between a fan and a non-fan should play this game. So like, I'm not a Souls fan at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can do a review because I'm obligated to make a review. It's my fucking opinion.
Yeah.
But the fan probably have a more biased opinion than me.
See, but and this is when we're talking about specifically Souls game series. Like a fan will have a more biased opinion towards the positive, but a non-fan will have an extremely biased opinion towards the negative because
Because they comprehend him or something.
they don't understand the mechanics. They're not willing to engage with the mechanics of the game. And that is where I fault critics the most, is not engaging with the product in a way that is representative of who the product is for. That is kind of like my big thing as a critic. Like if I'm reviewing a Disney movie, I can review a Disney movie as if the target audience for the Disney movie was a 26-year-old adult Puerto Rican male. Like I have to review it as like that perspective, but also have to take into account what is Disney trying to do with this product and who is it trying to please.
But you also don't want to go by a spreadsheet where it's like,
Yeah,
did it do
it's a
this?
balance in
Did
both.
did it hit this check mark? Did it hit this check mark? Because then it's coming off.
It's a balance of both. Like your opinion matters, but you also have to take into consideration what the target audience for that opinion would be, or for that product would be. And so the popular media, or pop culture criticism is all about opinion. My opinion is the correct one.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Yes.
And
It's a
so
huge fucking problem.
This game sucks. This game rules. There's no granularity between those two states of criticism, unless you're talking about a professional critic organization like IGN, GameScore, GameSpot, that people are hired to write about games and they have a sense of granularity as to like game design and game development and the understanding of the process.
Well, some of them do.
Some of them, yeah.
Some of them, because you see some reviews and it's like,
They just hire some fucking kid to write it or something.
why are you
So-
playing like this?
Yeah.
Like one of the most offensive reviews, like Sonic Unleashed review, the guy sucked at playing at the game. He just sucked. He bashed the game for being terrible at the game. That's how some
And that's
people
a bad
be.
critic.
That's a bad critic.
That's a bad critic. Because if I suck at I suck at Elden Ring. I am not good at Elden Ring. But I know that the mechanics that are there
You understand the fundamentals and shit.
are good.
Yeah.
The mechanics are good, and I'm just having trouble engaging
See,
with
and
the
inherently
mechanics.
that's where maybe I think some of the problems come from is like you assign it not to someone that's going to be bad at the game because they're like, well, you can't review it
If
properly.
you can't play it.
And then again, that like another thing that comes to mind is it's a series. There's already a fan for this game.
Yeah. There's a market for it.
And I feel like only games get reviewed properly when it's a new IP.
No.
Because
Well, okay, yeah.
yeah, because if you're only going to give it a
they get
Dark Souls.
reviewed without a bias. When it's
Yeah, because then they can't compare it to anything else.
Yeah. And that's also like a thing that I hate about criticism in general. Criticism in general is always comparative in nature.
Yes.
It's like the Batman. I mean,
I
we
think
did
of
it
that
even. The
literally.
Batman, we compared it to Christopher Nolan's
God,
Batman.
and there's so many movies to compare it to.
Yeah, and like that's the one thing that I stay away from. It's like the only time that I reference a previous like iteration of that product is if it's like a direct sequel, and there's some things that the sequel did better than the previous one or
I
whatever.
was gonna compare shit. It's so
Yeah.
irritating.
But
Like I'm not gonna compare Sekiro to Bloodborne. They're entirely
They're
different
totally
games.
different games. They just so happen to be.
But
Souls
even
games.
like
Yeah.
comic books, like comparing it, and then even movies with books is like, unless this is like was supposed to be a step by step from the book or whatever, this is a new vision for a movie.
Well, to a degree, it depends. So you have to have like the spirit there.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make it good. You can't
That's
just-
what makes a good adaptation.
Exactly,
Is
yeah.
having
Yeah.
the energy of the product be relatively intact.
It can still be his own thing. That's what
Yeah.
MCU literally is. It's his own thing, but it just takes inspiration from the comics.
Right.
That's why it works.
Yeah.
Some shit don't work. Some shit don't. I mean, some shit do. Some shit don't. And when it comes to shit like that, it's like it needs to be like again, it has its spirit. So I don't want like someone to make a new Souls game, and they make it completely fucking different. But it's a Souls game,
Yeah.
but it plays nothing like Souls,
No.
and it will
like-
get shit on.
And so, like, this is where we get into the conversation of like, what are tropes? What are genres? Should we take the genre into approach when we're reviewing? Should we take this and that? And the situation gets infinitely more complex the more things become self-referential in media. And so I think the problem with Elden Ring and why people bought Elden Ring and then immediately hated Elden Ring is because there were people that
Don't do research.
don't understand the Souls market, don't understand the game, don't understand the mechanics of the game. They hear that the game is really good by someone like IGN, and they go like, oh, it's a 10 out of 10 game, let me try it. They get mollywopped, refuse to engage with the game. Like that word?
Yeah.
Mollywopped. Refuse to engage with the game and then say, this game fucking sucks, and then review bomb the game on Steam or on IGN,
Metacritic.
and
So
Metacritic,
sick of
and
saying
shit like that.
Metacritic every fucking where.
So,
Irritating.
because Metacritic is not a reputable...
It's a generation, a whole bunch of fans. I mean, reviews into one school.
Well, don't they take like, well, that's viewer score, and then don't they take a general?
I hate
like,
number scores in general. I never liked them. I just say if it's good or bad, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
but
what it
then
is.
that's way too subjective.
No, it's not. I mean,
Good
like,
or bad?
people
like,
see a
you can't-
10.
It's too
just-
black and white.
People
I
see
mean,
a,
if you can defend why it's good,
huh?
if you can defend why it's good,
What?
I don't have a problem with
Oh,
saying
this-
it's just good or bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is if it, you know what people do nowadays, they don't look at the review, they look at the number. They see
Well,
a
not
10,
even-
freak out. I must buy this, so it's good. Instead of actually reading a review. That's when you watch, if you watch an IGN review, people literally will skip all the way to the end
Yeah.
and see what it makes.
You know why? I
tweet
think
about
there's a
it or something.
YouTube channel called Game Ranks.
Before I buy,
Before you buy.
yeah.
I
And
love
what
that. I love
what
that.
makes that actually so successful is because they give you pros and cons.
Yeah.
They don't give you a number score. They give you some good things about it and some bad things about
That's
it.
how it should have been.
And then they let and really that should be how it should be, because then they allow the players to make their own decisions based off those
Those things.
pros and cons.
I don't necessarily have a problem with number scores, but number scores are a tool to help you understand as a consumer what this person thought.
I can see you coming there, but
They're like a
rate it.
they're like a grading
I get
system,
you.
but they're a tool for the audience member to understand what the person was thinking.
As a number.
Because there are reviews that sound really negative
I think
in the writing, and then they give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, like I reviewed like about 7 games in total before.
Yeah.
Of my just my own time and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I never did a number. I just put my opinion in.
Yeah.
You take it from there.
That's totally fine.
I think we should take grading systems out of schools. I think we should
totally agree.
I think we should put pros and cons in as on my report card. He did good in here, but he did bad here.
Oh, you could have dressed nicely today, but so you can get it off.
So that being said, like Elden Ring is a great vehicle to talk about the way that game criticism and media criticism in general is kind of like slipping down in quality because people are just following what the big guy says.
See, it's funny because you remember Mighty Number 9? You
Yeah.
remember that game, the Mega Man spiritual successor?
Yeah, which
See,
didn't
I was
even
being contrarian to the reviews. Like they saying this game is awful. It is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, it's not. I'm gonna play it myself.
Yeah.
It's awful.
And inherently, though, that's the thing, though. It's because no one has an infinite amount of money to try all these games, nor the time to do it all.
Yeah.
But really,
But you truly
You don't know if it's going to be good or bad to you until you just play.
And that's why I strongly believe in game demos.
Yeah, I'm about to say Game Pass.
Yeah.
But
No. Game. I want game demos
Yes.
back.
It-
I want to be able to try a game.
I missed that though.
Give me like an hour with a game, 2 hours with a game, and see if I like it.
Didn't that Final Fantasy game do that recently? What's that new Final Fantasy game coming out?
Oh, the Final Fantasy Origins, the Chaos
They should,
one?
and you know, kind of even like Cyberpunk being like, you know, buggy mess. They should literally let you do like maybe a 5-hour trial before you commit
that's
to
what
a
Cyberpunk
buy.
is doing now.
Who?
Cyberpunk.
They are.
Yeah. And the last patch they released, they give you 3 hours of
Love this
playtime.
game.
But that should be with every game. They should give me a
I agree with that,
5-hour window.
It takes development time. I want it back too, but it's like that's why betas is a thing now.
No, well, it takes developer time, but I feel like that's the whole attitude about the market. They're like so anti-consumer
Yeah.
about the way that they're releasing stuff. They're stretching their developers thin. Take longer with the game.
And they don't want people's opinion to be generated before the game comes out.
Yeah,
That's
like
what they're doing.
take a fucking.
I have no idea why that disappeared. That was a huge thing in the 90s, 2000s. Just
It was
fucking
just
demos.
well, back in the
was
90s and
fucking
2000s, it was like a fresh market.
Yeah.
People like you had to convince somebody to play a video game in the first place.
How many demos I played and had and just never owned them, but those games was fantastic.
They
Yeah.
come in a magazine back in
Yeah.
the day.
they're great.
I used to literally buy those magazines.
But
for
you
them.
didn't know that game was coming out in like 6 years or something.
It could have been out at the time for me.
Yeah, it could have been out, but you had no idea.
Yeah.
That was wild back in the day. You used to choose a game based on a cover.
I did
You
it
didn't
with-
have a score.
That's how I started with
There
Ninja
was-
Gaiden.
There was no score.
Yeah.
You
Blown the
went to.
fucking
I remember
way.
Halo.
That was my experience with Kingdom Hearts.
Dude,
Yeah.
I went to the store and I'm like, dude, that green guy looks a little bit cool with the two
Master
guns in his
Chief.
hands. I'm like, all right, let's go.
It's
You
like-
would look at the front, you look at the back, and then you'd be
That's
like, you'd make your decision.
But wasn't that a
completely-
much more pure gaming
Yeah,
experience?
I was just thinking about it. Like, I miss.
It was untainted.
I miss-
It was you
was
were
unbiased.
purely
Yeah.
unbiased. You were purely buying it.
To see what happened.
What did it look like to you? And then you
That's taking
played the
it back.
game. You're like, does this game rule or suck?
I miss renting video games every Friday and just looking at covers. I'm like,
Yeah, me
this
too.
guy, girl looks badass. Buy it. I brought Ninja Gaiden 2 with that. He looks cool as fuck on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
Played
tell you.
it. One of my favorite games of all fucking time.
It's great. Sometimes
So
it
awesome.
works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
and that's the
that's
risk. Nowadays, like games were always expensive, and nowadays you could say that they're cheaper in average than they used to be back in the fucking 2000s.
Well, back then, when you choose a game based on its cover, you're only buying a game every 2 years.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
one's looking at the cover no more.
Yeah,
nowadays.
they don't
look
even
at-
look at the fucking game anymore. They like look at whatever people are saying about the game, which is my problem.
Yeah.
A lot of the purchases that are happening.
Even movies. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
same. You can apply this to anything. Cars.
That's so
movies.
fucking funny how internet culture changed that.
Yeah.
It's like the cover art is kind of. It's not important as it used to be.
No,
the cover art
because it's
defines
not.
that
It's not a
game.
selling tool anymore.
Not a selling tool. If you just look up what the game is gameplay wise, which is great to see what it is
Yeah.
nowadays, but it's like
But it kind of keeps you from getting also burned.
the enjoyment's not there no more. That like
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like they were marketing
the
campaigns
unknown, you
that
don't know
were
what you're going
good.
into.
The learning of a new game, like the figuring out a new game was there, and we could say a lot. I feel like it's about the anti-intellectualism that's happening with
We're just
media
old.
in general, and it's just people are getting dumb and they don't want to like take the time to like learn about something or like spend the time to like say like, oh, people are saying that Elden Ring is good. Is there someone that says that it's not good?
See, for me, like I want to play Elden Ring, but I know it's not for
But
me.
when you find someone that says that it's not good, they're completely they're clickbaiting.
It depends. So it depends.
It's very hard to find a genuine like this was good, but I had
See, that's why I want to make my
So-and-so
video.
problems.
That's really hard to describe though, because you have
and it's
people,
opinion based. I mean, it's
that's
all,
that's what they use as a shield though. Sometimes
What'd you
he
say?
says an opinion,
Yeah.
but I think people use the opinion thing as a shield.
Yeah,
against
they
contrary
absolutely
or
do.
whatever.
There are two facets to a review. It's an objective portion of the review and a subjective portion of the review. And those two things should be, a good review has those interspersed throughout the entirety of the review. You need to be able to look at a game objectively. And you need to game like, objectively, I know that this mechanic works for this game. This game design element works really well. I did not click with it. I personally had a bad time with that mechanic. I don't use it a whole lot. It's not my play style. And then like let the person who you're talking to about this game understand that there's a context as to why you don't like
That's me with Animal Crossing.
this thing. Yeah,
I know it's not a bad game. It's just not for me.
exactly. Same here.
It's not.
But
a
you could have absolutely been like this sucked, this sucked, this
Yeah.
sucked,
Yeah.
this sucked.
yeah.
And so like the idea that something is good or bad based on something that some jackass says on the internet. You're often the jackass when we're talking about movies, says on the internet, without you taking that information, processing it, digesting it, and then going, you know what, I think I disagree with that. That's
the thing that you could avoid with like number scores is inherently you never really, let's say you never give anything a 1 and you never give anything a 10. Let's say you start right at 5, and if it's a game that's mostly enjoyable, you give it like a 7 or 8. If the game wasn't that good, you give it like a 4 or a 3. Because you're never really at the bottom. You're never saying this is the worst game ever. Because every game, literally anything, someone's going to find enjoyment and someone's not going to find enjoyment. But to really stand on like a thing and say this is ultimately good or ultimately bad, you can't do that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I agree to a degree. There's some things that are just straight up fucking awful.
God of War is top tier. I don't care.
I was about to say, like, what?
God of War is like one of the greatest games ever played.
Yeah.
Like,
but I like. So let's
shut up, Jordan. Nothing's wrong with the game.
Yeah. Well, the open world kind of sucked.
It's semi-open world.
I didn't care for it. I thought it was kind of clunky. But the game's good. The story is good.
See, but that's the thing. That's granularity. That's such a weird concept for people to understand. That just because you really like something, it doesn't mean that there's something that can't be wrong with it.
This is how I live by. Thank fucking God.
It's just like, I really like God of War.
Yeah.
I didn't love the combat system.
You know what?
A lot of the boss fights were kind of the same. But did I have fun? Yes.
Give me 3 guys in a room or 3 people, whoever. Give me 3 people. I want someone that really liked it. I want someone that hated it, and then I want someone who's in the middle. And I just want them to just give
Christianity,
me their
agnostic, atheist, and one.
Yeah. Just give me that, and then I want to form my opinion out of that little cesspool.
In my opinion, and so like this falls on the consumer's responsibility. Read about your fucking games, think critically about what you're watching, about what you're playing, and then like get your own pieces of information out from several sources. And like read and fucking think.
But you know the hard thing about that is like not everybody's going to do that. There's some people that just casually play games. They come home from work and they're like, I want to play a new game.
I cannot imagine living my life not thinking critically about the shit that I'm consuming.
Dude, there's
I know
Joe
there's
Schmo out there, man.
Well,
there's hundreds of them.
In college, I took advantage of PS Plus and just played whatever they gave me.
Yeah.
And I tried different genres and shit. So it can partially like Game Pass is one of the good examples. But some of the games people don't know. They just play them because it's up there.
Dude, this is like me going to the store and buying like a new knife set. I'm not gonna read no reviews on some knife set. But that's how some people look at video games. Like some people have a console and they're like, dude, I heard this is good. I'm gonna play it.
Maybe it's the autism in me. I fucking spend 3 hours thinking, like reviewing anything that I'm gonna buy.
Yeah, me too. Like anything from Amazon. Like, is this good? Am I getting the fuck up version of this good product?
I think inherently, I think we've been cultivated to that. Because like I read reviews religiously.
I could buy fucking batteries.
But I even know what to sort out when I'm like this has 25 stars. These are all lies.
Yeah, these are all fake.
I gotta have to compare them to the bad reviews to the good reviews. And be like, what is the? And inherently I'm like, where's the 3-star reviews? Because the 3-star reviews are gonna give me some good. I shouldn't have to do that, but
you should. That's what being an informed consumer is.
You're smart consumer.
That's being an intelligent consumer.
But I think Amazon, you got to be real careful.
Fuck Amazon.
Yeah, you got to be.
It could be like third party employees making good reviews and all that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Dude, it's 100% like that.
Yeah.
So, but
scary.
You got to read everything.
To answer the question, because we've got to start wrapping up. But to answer the question, should we blindly follow game reviews?
No,
absolutely not. Absolutely.
I mean, I think that should be common sense, right?
You would fucking think.
I'm trying to figure out who we live in such a digital age now. Like, who's still just doing that basic shit? Like, who's doing that?
What do you mean?
Like, just buying it.
It's someone. It's someone, dude, like that's just not tapped into like, just a regular person comes home and they're just like they work. They watch sports. They do all of that stuff. It's someone who buys the same 2K game every single year because they don't read reviews. They're not tapped in. They're not like us. And that's why they should come to us to form their opinion because they need to know this, but they're not.
I mean,
they don't watch podcasts. The thing is that
when they do come to us meaning critics in general, there's a huge population of the critics that are caring more about the click rate and the pass through and the data analytics of what they're saying than what they're saying.
Yeah.
So like they would just say like, oh, I need a bad opinion to boost up my channel. Let me play this game and talk shit about it.
It's not inherently like...
Yeah, and so like there's a lot of bias happening because of the digital age. It's so...
There's nothing genuine.
It's
I mean,
so
there's...
fun though.
Well, there's genuine opinions formed out there. They're just not popular.
Yeah. Jim Sterling is a great reviewer. I feel like...
I swear
Stephanie
to God.
Sterling now.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, they transitioned.
I forgot. I mean, I'd
Is
never.
that person not a Nazi?
No,
They're
all-
that's
they're
his
all-
character, like some.
The character makes fun of fascism.
Yeah.
Oh, because I
But
just
he's not a
from...
Nazi.
I don't watch his content.
Kind of a
That-
bad look when I don't know anything about him. They just dress like a Nazi. And I'm like,
He's
She's
really.
she's not dressed like a Nazi.
She's a wrestler too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a really cool guy.
I'm never watching.
She's a really cool person.
AA games. That's what she talks. But no,
Triple A
yeah.
games.
The way the shit we all like, nerd culture, video games, and all that stuff. You would think how it's so normalized nowadays that people will live.
I think it is a little bit more normal than it used to be.
You think people invest into the stuff like we grew up doing?
Yeah.
You think people would do that nowadays, but they don't. I don't. I can't comprehend that. Like, why
Well,
is
it's
this
just-
guy's not looking up information about the game he's
This
about
is
to buy?
like, but it's equivalent to like we're just really into this. It's the same equivalent to someone looking at films, or it's the equivalent of like something absurd, like not like a knife set. There's someone out there that's really into cooking, that knows what a good and bad cutting
Knife
board
sets.
is and all of that stuff, and they're like, "Why didn't you read this review? Why didn't
funny
you
to
check out
think
my
of.
YouTube channel?" Like,
This
and
knife
there's shit,
sucks.
but like it's in all forms. I think it's just we're in a very popular genre of it.
There is
but
a
there's like,
saturation of information. There's an oversaturation of information. I agree. Brought
Right.
about by social media. Everybody can say what they want to say.
That's my.
And everybody can build an audience.
See, when I keep going back to this video I'm making because when you say that, because it's like I kind of just want people to shut the fuck up.
That's the thing. Me too.
I
Me
feel
too.
like some fucking dictator fascist guy.
Yeah,
that's
me
saying
too.
That. Yeah, like your opinion doesn't matter.
Some things should be gatekept.
but inherently you can't say
Right.
that because we're doing exactly the same.
But that's the
we're
thing.
talking
But we're
about.
trying to break into the market where we are professionals at it. You know, like we're working up in a way to be professionals at it.
Everyone's a fucking critic all of a sudden.
So, but like a lot of these people, like a lot of YouTube channels, that are not tied to any professional journalist organization or have any journalism training at all, they're just saying shit. And it greatly influences the general opinion of something because they have like 3 million people watching their videos, and these people are not going to think for themselves a lot of the time about what this person is saying because they're just kind of following the opinion, and they have a weird sense of influence. So we are doing the same thing, but we're trying to build something with some credibility that resembles some sort of journalistic integrity.
Yeah, like
a lot of people aren't doing that.
my favorite review on YouTube is some Call Me Johnny. I love that guy's reviews.
I haven't seen it.
He the way I do my videos kind of inspired from him. Like he plays the game, talks what he likes, and that's it.
That reminds me of Jobby.
Who's that?
The guy, he's the guy who does SH and like Gundam reviews and stuff.
Nice.
It's a reviewer for like it's just something extremely niche.
Yeah.
Toys.
Yeah,
He has a huge install.
he's a toy reviewer.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So like,
But just go to him and this shit was biased as hell, man.
So like, what is he complaining about then? Like
He doesn't. I mean,
and that's the thing. Like as a critic,
it's literally you can't complain. It's like this joint was pretty loose.
Okay, yeah,
like
that's what I'm
this
saying.
is kind of like a shoddy product.
well,
Not worth
that's
your
the thing.
$20.
Like as a critic, you cannot complain. You cannot rant.
I mean, criticize. That's what I mean. I'm sorry.
You.
I didn't mean complain. I mean, like, what's the criticism of toys?
Oh yeah.
That's what
It
I
just
mean.
it doesn't have like a certain joint that's good.
It's not articulated
Yeah,
properly.
it's not not much articulate, pretty stiff.
So does it make it a bad product, or is it just
He's just saying. I think he
You
just
prefer
says.
that.
I think he just says, "Hey, this joint, for example, like this is like a stiffer figure.
Gotcha.
So like, watch out
You've
if you want
watched
something
Jobby
better."
before.
I know I've seen this guy around. I can't click with him.
But, like,
He's a dude that has a filthy Frank like persona that he
That's
does.
so funny. So, but that's the thing about good criticism. Like the guy tells you, "Hey, this articulation isn't good. If you care about that, don't buy it."
Mm-hmm.
Right? But like, you can't complain. You can't go on a rant. You can't call something objectively shit if you're a critic.
You can't inject too much of your opinion
Yeah,
into it.
you have
You'd
to-
be surprised how much people do that.
Yeah, it's an insane
Well,
amount.
that-
A very insane amount.
And you,
But
you
like
can go.
then that I think that separates them from being professional about it.
No, you'd be
Yeah,
surprised.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
People think they're right.
The
there.
brand of professionalism comes when someone is identifying the audience for a product and go like people that like the Batman, or like someone watches the Batman, they go like, hey man, I thought it was a great noir crime thriller. If you like, a quote in my review was, if you're looking for a great superhero movie, this movie is an absolute must watch. If you're looking for a noir crime thriller movie, this movie might do a lot for you.
There's someone out there that doesn't like this movie. Not because they're biased. They just don't like this fucking movie.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it is.
But you can't, if that person is reviewing the movie.
You know what I want?
Yeah.
I want somebody like, I hated this movie.
Yeah.
But God, it's actually good. It's a 9 out of 10, but I hate
I
it.
wanted to hate this movie, but fuck.
What's her name? Zoe
Kravitz.
Dave
Chanel.
Kravitz?
What? Dave Chappelle.
Dave
Chanel.
Chanel.
Huh?
It's another Zoe. Don't worry about it. It's a white girl.
Huh?
Zoe Deschanel.
What are you talking about?
You said Zoe
What's her name?
Kravitz.
Her name is Zoe.
What the fuck
For
are
the
you
Bat-
talking
for
about?
the
What
Bat
are you
girl.
talking about? Yeah, Zoe
Yeah.
Kravitz.
Who is Daisy? What the hell are you saying?
Zoe
Zoe
Deschanel.
Deschanel.
Don't worry about it.
She's
It
an
doesn't
actor.
matter. She doesn't matter.
I was just gonna start saying a bunch of Daisy and then last name.
Daisy Ridley.
Daisy
So
Ridley.
like that's really the thing. It's like Elden Ring got affected by huge amounts of hype, and then a lot of people bought the game that shouldn't have bought the game, and ended up review bombing it on Steam. But generally, Elden Ring is unaffected by that because
It's a
it's
good
Elden
game.
Ring, and so like people know that it's like people know how to differentiate between someone that didn't understand the game versus someone that did understand the game. But let's say that Elden Ring was a new property, completely isolated from everything else, and that happened to it. That could very much have dictated the success of the game. And so that's when proper criticism matters a lot.
Yeah.
And so like that's kind of the thing. So should we blindly follow Bryan reviewers? Absolutely not. Get your own opinion. Think critically. Don't be a fucking sheep.
That's insane. I keep going back, but that's insane. That's people still do that.
Yeah, people still do that a lot. And
Kinda
like
comprehend.
a blind buy is okay. Like I love blind buying shit.
Not anymore. I need to have money in my pocket.
Though, and inherently, that's the problem.
Yeah.
These people do not want to waste their money.
Yeah. But they also don't want to be an informed consumer.
Yeah.
And so like that's the critics need to be better at communicating their intentions with the game and need to stay away from outrage. And consumers need to be better at identifying when a reviewer is full of shit.
Fucking outrage culture.
Yeah. And it's all clickbait.
Yeah, shop around.
Yeah. But Elden Ring is a really good game if you care about it. I've been having a great time.
If you enjoy that type of gameplay, comparatively out of the Souls games, it's good.
It is the best,
It's
in
good.
my opinion.
New IP, who knows?
Don't buy Elden Ring. It's terrible. My opinion.
I think it's fine.
God, the game is so hard, but it's so good.
Anyway, I think that wrap it up.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. That's it for today's episode. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week.
This
You
was a
can
good
find us
episode.
on Twitter at _BryanBrowny. We're on our way out. Yeah. You can find us on Twitter at the Drunken Ship _. You can find me on Twitter at Bryan Archilla. And you can find Crockett in cyber_calamity. And you can fight Tay Infinite. He's not on
Nowhere.
Twitter anymore, though.
Fuck you guys.